Hello, administrative team. I wanted to share with you some information about the laptops. I finally have completed the student laptop handbook, and I also reworked the iPad pledge to the grade 6 through 12 laptop student pledge. So this is in the admin drive, 22-23 school year. That's where you can find that information. I wanted to go over some information with you just to try to clarify some of the major issues with the laptops so that we're all following the same rules and trying to be consistent with them. We know that from iPads, there's a lot of similarities there's going to be with the laptops. One of the things that I think we really need to start off being pretty strict on is the carrying cases for the laptops. So you can see here item number 2.2. Protective case cover is provided and it's required, and we really need to ask our kids to be using these carrying cases anytime that they're transporting the laptop. So in between classes, they need to be in those covers. That just is something that we need to be pretty harsh with as we get started. It needs to be a part of our culture. Anytime we do that, hopefully a dropped laptop then will not be broken. It's easy for laptops to slide off of piles of books that kids may be carrying, but I just wanted to share that with you. That and then when we determine whether or not a laptop was damaged because of neglect or whether it was done on purpose, has to do with the consequences that are assigned by the administrator. That needs to be the number one question: was it in the carrying case when the damage happened? I would appreciate it if everybody would emphasize to kiddos the importance of having your laptop's battery charged completely as we begin. That's something that is a little bit of a concern. We know that they're not going to have the same lifespan as iPads. So we want to make sure that that's taken care of and that kids just don't think they can, I can bring it uncharged and just plug it in. We're not going to have enough plug-ins in our facilities for all of those. We will have some opportunities for kids to take care of that charging, but in just every classroom, that is not going to be available. I am concerned a little bit about the amount of printing that we may increase our printing. I know that this past year our color copies went through the roof in a few buildings especially, and so I want you to really try to make sure that kids and teachers are aware that printing is really only done when it's a necessity. And that when we need to do it, we do it. But I just have a feeling that people might just print everything. It makes me think of that parenting commercial where you don't have to print the internet. So anyway, just a cautionary statement about printing. Acceptable use. I put this in here so that because legally this is the language that they follow. I want it clear for kids that there is no expectation of privacy on their laptops, and so that's for the history of websites that they've searched, of any of the documents that are there, any of that kind of information. Last year and the last couple of years, we've seen an increase in the number of iPads that were brought in that were damaged. Some of those I highly question whether or not that was accidental, and I know that's what was reported to us. As building administrators, you need to investigate the damage to a laptop to determine whether it's from student misuse or neglect, whether it was intentional, or whether it was a situation that was completely out of the student's control. And those are going to be important to how we charge students. But the policy is that if it's misuse or neglect, which would include not having a computer in its carrying case and it gets damaged, the first $50 is going to be the responsibility of the student. So I think that's going to be important. I know last year kids learned they could just get away with it, and so I don't know if there's a TikTok challenge or something going on. We repaired a lot of iPads that looked like they were broke intentionally that kids didn't pay for. So anyway, if if a laptop is damaged intentionally, of course, they have to pay the full amount. So a couple other things I wanted to stress is laptop identification. Each laptop has a sticker on it, and if that sticker gets damaged, then we're going to have to look at the serial numbers to determine who it belongs to. But that sticker needs to be in good shape. We need to be able to tell whose it is. If not, we need to know about it so we can get them a new sticker. Also, something else is that on the carrying bags, there is a name that is on a plastic tag that's stuck to it. Lisa's concerned that that's not going to last. And this would also be a place if kids wanted to personalize their laptop a little bit or their bag, that they could do something with that. It needs to be school appropriate, but that would be an area that could be personalized, but we need to be able to tell whose it is. I do worry about those getting stolen or somebody losing theirs and they just steal somebody else's. You know how that goes. So anyway, there's some information in here about laptops left in unsupervised areas. I think that we're going to have to really pay attention to that and encourage kids and instruct them where's an appropriate place to leave it. I showed you in that H drive under 2223 is the student pledge for laptop use. This is an excellent opportunity to go over some of those important points with kiddos and make sure that they understand the expected use of laptops and the expected care of them. You might mention vehicles. Left overnight in a vehicle is not a good thing either in the summertime or the wintertime, just because of the extreme heat in the summer and the extreme cold in the wintertime can have an adverse effect on laptops. They're probably more sensitive to that than the iPads are. So anyway, if you have any questions about any of this information, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I know that I have not covered everything. I have tried to make sure that policy is up to date, and I plan on having the board approve that policy at the September meeting. Thank you all for what you do, and we're looking forward to the great start of the school year.